Aloha, everyone. Michelle Molinas with Blossom Inner Wellness, and I wanted to do a video on depression. My father in 1994 struggled with depression, and he took his life April 26th, 1994. My aunt, who was an aunt by marriage, took her life last week. I think it was last week sometime. So depression, I know a lot about depression. I know a lot about wanting to stop the recording right now, but I'm going to keep going because I'm feeling like I want to cry myself. This video is going to teach you 3 ways to start to come out of depression, because depression is very, very real. And the first thing that you want to do with depression is you want to acknowledge that it's okay to be sad. Right now in the world, there's a lot of things to be sad about. Everything from separation to wondering what's really true to all the things that all the things that have been taken away from us in our lives completely turned upside down, and wanting to keep our families safe, and just so much. So I know that if you're watching this, you've been through a lot. You've been through the ringer. And I want to tell you that you're so not alone. You're never alone. We are going through, even if there's nobody in your house with you and you're living by yourself, you're still not alone in this. We are going through this at a human level, all of us collectively. And the very first thing you want to do when you are struggling with depression is to realize it is okay to be sad. It is okay to be sad. And so what I do when I'm feeling depressed, and there's been times in my life when I was in my 30s, especially, when I thought of taking my own life. And I remember my own spiritual journey out of the darkness and into the light. And still there's times where I get sad and get depressed, especially last year. It never has gotten to the point of what it was when I was in my 30s, early 30s. But it definitely has been where I have cried my eyes out in my bed, where I couldn't sleep, where I tossed and turned, where I didn't want to get out of bed. That was last year. Definitely some feelings of that. So I want you to know that if you are struggling with depression, you're not alone. And the first thing to acknowledge is that it's okay to be sad. It's a normal human feeling. So when you are in that space, instead of making yourself wrong or sitting in it and letting the story that the depression creates in your mind unravel and basically feed itself like a record player, repeating over and over again the stories in your head, the very first thing to do is just put your hands on your heart and say, hey, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel this. This is a normal human feeling. I'm not the only one who's ever felt this. And it's okay that this is in my body right now, because it's in my body right now. And I can't just wish it away. When the frequency of depression has a hold of you, it has a hold of you. So the very first thing to do is acknowledge that it's there, and to tell yourself, guess what? I'm not going to try to fix you. I'm not going to make you wrong for this. It's okay to be sad. There's a lot of things to be sad about right now. And you breathe into it. Your breath is what's really key. You breathe into it and you let it expand, because when you're depressed, you shallow breathe. You'll be laying in bed and you'll be like shallow breathing up in your chest, but you want to breathe down into your belly. So 3 really deep breaths, and do them with me. Take a deep breath all the way down to your root chakra. And now exhale more than you inhale. Keep exhaling. Good. Again, inhale. And exhale more. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. You should already start to feel just a little bit of a change in your body, because your breath will start to open it up, and it'll start to shift the frequency in your body. We are frequency, we are energy beings. And that's leads me to the next thing that you want to do if you're struggling with depression, is to understand that your body is energy. You are a light being of frequency. Depression is the lowest energy there is. That's why you want to sleep, and love and peace are the highest frequency that there is. That's why you feel like you're floating on air when you're in love. So the second thing that you want to do is you want to get in nature. Nature is one of the fastest ways to elevate your emotional frequency, because your body is literally the Schumann resonance that can be measured around the world, is an energy, is a frequency, and our bodies are always connected to the earth. But when you are in nature and you are putting your feet on the ground and you are touching the earth and you're putting your hands on a tree, or you're smelling a rose, or you're smelling a lemon from a lemon tree, that will raise your frequency so much more quickly. Or you're just listening to the sounds around you, the sounds of the birds, the sounds of I don't know if you can hear the crickets that we have right now. We have coqui frogs at nighttime. And so you're just listening to that, or you're listening to the sounds of the wind going through the leaves. Nature will raise your frequency the quickest. And if you just pause 30 seconds, that's all you need, even less than that, but 30 seconds, preferably up to 2 minutes, with your feet on the ground without being in shoes. Those are parrots. I don't know if you can hear them. I think they're coming this way. Yeah. Feet on the ground, touching the earth, getting your feet a little bit dirty, and just feeling, or even putting your hands on the ground. I was at the Peace Garden, which I do a lot of my videos at the Peace Garden, and I was with 2 friends, and we just laid down on the earth. And as soon as we laid down, immediately, even my friend was like, whoa, like all the stress and everything just went whoosh out of our bodies and into the earth. And what you can do when you're in nature is you can literally rub it down. Like I rub my arms, I rub my legs, I rub everything, rub the back. And then what I do is I wipe it off. Like, so you just wipe, I'm just wiping off the stress, just wiping it off. I'm wiping off the worry. I'm wiping off the fear, just like you're wiping water off of you. And you go all the way down to the earth and you give it to the earth, the Aina, the land. In Hawaiian, they call it land, the Aina, A-I-N-A. And you give it to the earth and you say, Mother Earth, just transform this, take this from me. I can't deal with this anymore. I just give it to you. And you just breathe into that as you wipe it off of you. That'll elevate your frequency right away, seriously, within moments. And then the third thing that you want to do is you want to have compassion for yourself. I love to put my hands on my heart, and I literally just remember that I survived my childhood. You know, I had father was an alcoholic and depressed a lot, committed suicide April 26, 1994. Mom struggled with bipolar and depression. So I'm very familiar with this subject. And we were neglected a lot. And my mother and I now have a wonderful, beautiful relationship. And I know from my own journey that is the way that is the journey I chose for my own emotional expansion. But whatever your journey is, you survived your childhood. You survived your teen years. You survived your adult years, however old you are. And when I say survived, I mean survived. Because each one of us has emotional trauma from our past, being in relationship with other people. And so you survived. So the third thing you want to do if you're struggling with depression is to have compassion for yourself. Acknowledge all the times that you survived your childhood. Acknowledge everything you've gone through. And this isn't feeling sorry for yourself. This is compassion. This is having compassion, understanding. Because only you truly know what you've been through. Only you, nobody else. Nobody else on the entire planet really understands what you have gone through, what it is like to be in your body, what it is like to be with your thoughts, what it's like to be in your physical space with other people, in relationship with other people. Nobody knows that but you. And the Buddha says, you, more than anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and compassion. So the third step is a compassion. And here's a bonus step. The bonus is to start eating high frequency food. Start eating high frequency food. We're talking veggies. We're talking non-processed food, because your body is energy. So you've got to start feeding it, even if it's just one meal a day. It's a non-processed, high vibrational food. I always have my shake in the morning, my protein shake in the morning, with blueberries, some cacao nibs, water, my protein powder, pumpkin seeds, and that's it. And then I blend that up, and I love that. And then I usually have a salad or a soup or some type of, we had a shaka tacos, which were vegetarian, vegan, veggie tacos with a little bit of guacamole on it, and mango salsa. That was my lunch. And then tonight for dinner, I'm going to have broccoli soup with some quinoa bread that I made. And quinoa bread is, all you got to do is you cook it like rice, but I put it in a blender, 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, and I let it sit for 6 hours or overnight. And then I put in just my seasonings and a tiny pinch of baking powder, and that's it. But no salt seasoning. I put in turmeric. I put in maybe some hemp hearts, something like that to taste, and then I freaking bake it. And I bake it in a pan, and it comes out in a bread form. I blend it, of course, blend it. But anyway, I'm going to do a video on how to make quinoa bread, so that's coming. But anyway, that's what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. My quinoa bread. It's no oil, and broccoli soup, and that's what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. It's going to be amazing. So those are the 3 things. I'm going to go over them again. What is number 1? To acknowledge that it's okay to be sad. There's a lot of things to be sad about right now. So acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with being sad, and breathe into that. 3 deep breaths all the way down to your root chakra. Number 2, get into nature. Let yourself feel Mother Earth. Give her any worry, stress, fear that you have, because she can take it, and you are always connected to her anyway. And number 3, have compassion for yourself for everything you've been through. Compassion and understanding. And then number 4, start to eat high vibrational foods. And then number 5, exercise. Exercise. Move your body. Dance. Whatever makes you feel good. All right, everybody. Much aloha to you. Much love. And you are not alone. Please remember that.